There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I'm going to definitely butcher some names tonight. Kyanite League, as CK faces off here on Oregon against Eclipse. Week 5 action. These two teams, in terms of standings, which were pretty recently released actually yesterday, 4 in the morning, sort of middle of the pack right now. You know, CK sitting at 7th, right behind them is Eclipse. Both of them actually have 7 points. If I'm understanding this correctly, CK has a 2-0, 1-0 record with 1 overtime loss. Meanwhile, Eclipse has just a 2-0-0-2 record. Okay, that's a bit confusing. I'm not going to pay any mind to that. Rather, I'm going to pay a bit of attention to this map. It's just a very classic, honestly, rather stale map. I see every team play it seems. You know, very strategy-based, you know. The standard way that you will see a team push this is get the wall, get enough picks, get a plant down. So this is a map where you will see Thatcher bans, where you would see an ace ban. It's a bit unusual, in my opinion, to see that ace taken down, but it is just generally that first ban on a map such as Oregon is some sort of hard breach, so I'm not too surprised. Twitch ban, you know, Twitch has been pretty prominent in the frag game, as well as doing well as soft support. That could be a target ban. Admittedly, I don't know much about either of these teams. They do seem to have some sort of a rivalry, so I could see that possibly being a target ban. And then the defensive bans, Capcan and Castle. Castle is just a great operator for extensions and for being able to modify the site. Castle is very common on that tertiary site, on whatever map it is. You know, for example, raiding on cafe, on clubhouse, bedroom, or even on a what is that, kitchen and stage. Used to be kitchen and stock. And then on this map, you know, meeting and kitchen, it's pretty common to see that castle in play. So I suppose that they're trying to sort of limit that. Maybe that also is a target ban. And the Capcan ban, I do see it pretty often. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't believe that he's a very strong operator. He doesn't have a great gun. His utility is It is punishing towards teams that don't pay attention. To teams that get sloppy. But if you are not one of those teams that, you know, doesn't check for that, then it's alright. One sec. I'm still trying to work this all out. Okay. There we go. What's the teams? What's the bans? Ace I get, Cap I get. The others, as I said, those could be target bans. I'm not 100% sure. What's the team? CK is defending here against Eclipse. From my understanding, these two teams actually have pretty strong records beyond, you know, obviously they are both either 2-2 or 2-1 overtime loss. But they have had players win Player of the Week honors earlier in the season. I believe it was Eclipse in the first 2 weeks. They had 2 players win, and then pretty recently, I think we actually saw somebody from CK winning it. So we can see Riot going to be trying to push forward now, trying to make his way onto this bedroom side, onto maybe some pressure on the trophy end. But there's no hard breach here. I mean, sure, you know, Immortal as the Zero has those can openers, those secondary hard breach gadgets, which I could go into you know, an entirely separate little monologue about the new secondary utility that they've been adding, but you know, that doesn't leave them with a whole lot of breathing room. You know, there's no Cade ban, so it's going to be harder in general for the attack to get these walls open, easier to keep them closed. So just have to keep that in mind. Sparks down there by Kalal? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, my apologies. Yui picking off one. Immortal will fall now as Riot takes down a Harry, and now it's a 3-on-3. Ash rushing the site here. Riot's going to get a second pick for himself. And now trying to recoup as his team has secured a solid amount of site. They've taken down Attic, and now Yui is going to fall here. Courtesy of cool double kill from that sledge, and Riot finishes it off. 2 entries there for Eclipse, able to just quickly run their way through the site. strong work from them getting an opening round here. And so far, it's going as most people seem to expect. Looking at the match predictions, the majority of people, which admittedly seems to be a good amount of CK players, so take that with a grain of salt or two, but a good amount of people seem to favor CK versus CK in this match. So sort of not what we would expect if we were to believe solely that part of this. And then just to talk quickly about that round, I mean, very strange. Is this league new? I don't think it's new necessarily. It's Xbox, so that's why you probably haven't seen it before. Alright, there. Sorry, had to put that out. To talk very quickly about that round before we get into the next one. No Cade, no Electric, just a mute covering those walls, so maybe not as strong protection as they would have, as they should have had. No real hard reach, and again, no real. Actually, this time they're pulling out that Thermite, so probably going to be looking for a more surefire, more efficient way to get into the site as they're attacking that same objective here. They do still have, however, a sort of a backup now, Immortal with those can openers, but essentially they got control of Attic, and then they just pressed out that Attic player, which I believe was Shady? Or no, it was Sparks, my apologies. And just ended up putting a lot of pressure there, and because there's nobody watching this door from Trophy into Bedroom, that actually allowed the Ash to basically just clear out the rest of the site in conjunction with the rest of the team. You know, it was essentially just a pincer applied onto Attic, and they had the defense. CK had no response, unfortunately for them. So you can see now pretty much the same push so far. Admittedly, that Thermite's going to make it just an interesting adaptation here. Obviously, a lot larger of a space to work with. Easier, I'd say, to get in. Quicker to get in. Comparison with one of those can opener says, Kulali will fall at the hands of UE. This roaming Mozzie this time around. Or, pardon me, Mute. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but sort of the companion to Mozzie. And again, serving as that wall denial. Not doing too well in terms of keeping these walls closed. Max Fun will take down Sparks. And this roam seems to just get quickly shredded now by Eclipse. They'll again take the man advantage for themselves. I think trying to maybe play this hatch here. Trying to make something happen, but they do have pretty good standing with about a minute left. I mean, they have this wall here on that Attic side. They don't have anybody playing it. They might be rotating Max over there, I think. They're now going to be looking for this Bedroom wall, probably looking for a pincer later in the round, but they do need to get moving. You know, they have 4 players, they have the man advantage. They don't have a ton of time, though, so they really need to start putting pressure on, and quickly. Shady going to take a bit of damage now, falling back. Maybe looking for a Kona to heal on Nebs, and Shady in the last left house. Maybe we'll get a headshot on O'Harry. Going to be trying to push forward now. I think Ryan may be looking for some sort of pick here onto Nebs. Going to be caught in the middle of a rock in a hard place. This is be Immortal trying to put some pressure on Riot. Swings, gets the plant down, and it seems he gets the pick, that's for sure. Shady, the last one left, now trying to get something done in a hot seat here. Dealing with some pressure. Headshots, Immortal swung by Max, and the Jackal getting another win here for Eclipse. And my oh my, a really strong start, at least so far for Eclipse. They seem to have CK's number, it seems. You know, plant went down, but even without the plant going down, they would have won that. They were just playing very aggressively, and it does not seem as though there is a response happening on the side of CK. I mean, basically, Eclipse is just muscling around this defending team.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
You know, I mean, very similar push as to that first round and the second round. Still got some pressure from below, clearing out the roam. I would say that was another distinct difference, is that the roam was basically futile. That second round, the first round, it did make some sort of pressure, some sort of difference. It eventually got back onto the objective, but ultimately couldn't stop. I believe it was Riot as the Ash, actually, from just
Bomb located by
just
attackers.
cleaning up the objective.
5
But
seconds left.
still, I mean, got the wall open. This time put pressure on bedroom and double window instead of just on trophy, or on game wall. My apologies. But still, there's nothing CK's doing to stop it, it seems. They have the setups here. I don't think that it's an issue with how they're playing the objective. I think it's an issue of just them not winning gunfights. And if you look at their... Admittedly, we're 2 rounds in. Technically 3. But, most of their players are still on a donut. They've had chances to win a gunfight, to get themselves back into contention, maybe neutralize a man advantage, gain a man advantage. But nothing so far. So I think that CK has to do something here. And they've certainly, I think that it's certainly wise for them to switch sites, because clearly they do not seem to do well at defending that top floor, at least against Eclipse. I would hope that's not a trend that they are poor defenders of that site in general. So we'll have to see. And interestingly enough, going to be doing some mid-round reinforcements now as can opener or one placed by Immortal there. I think he's essentially solo pushing this part of the site, that meeting hatch onto E-Box, and Nitro going out there from a Harry doesn't get anything. Maybe scared off a player or two, but didn't really scratch anybody. So Kulali gonna now be trying to play that. Actually, pardon me, that's Newbie trying to pressure E-Box. First smoke of 3 going out, about half the round remains for Sparks. Still trying to hold down this blue elbow position, accompanied by UE there, just holding down that corner. Nobody on Shaiko door, though, might be having to deal with some pressure from Boiler side, possibly. I think that's Immortal, looking to possibly pressure the site. Spots of Harry. And now Riot's going to take a bit of damage as he's accompanying him, it seems, just continuing to pressure this blue side. Really looking for that sort of push as the Blackbeard of Max Fun drops in E-Box now, trying to get some pressure on the site. Finds one. Shady picks off Immortal. Harry will be killed. Shady gets a second. Sparks takes down one. UE will get another. It's up to just Newbie here against almost the entirety of Sika here. I think that's the smoke there of Sparks peeking, trying to get that kill there, and Nebs just closes out the round. And my oh my, what a reversal of face there for CK. So you can see that Thunderbird there. Nebs able to get a quick Pokeball, clear out the flank, close out the round. I think the key difference was just that the push was stuffed there. Obviously a different site, so obviously a different push. But the key there was that the Blackbeard dropped meeting hatch. He dropped into E-Box. And he had sort of 2 ways that he could go. Because he had, I think it was Riot Axe over on the blue side being sort of stuffed or stopped by Sparks and the Jaeger of Nebs. And then on the other side, he has Immortal trying to pressure site, and dealing with the mute, I believe, of O'Harry. So he has 2 ways that he can take it, and admittedly, I think that there was a bit of a miscommunication or a mistiming because, if Immortal and Riot had pushed that single wall there from Boiler to Supply at the same time, they probably would have avoided a pick or at least gotten a trade, but instead it just sort of unfolded very rapidly and unraveled very rapidly. In that, he got the trade, but then lost another player, and just suddenly the entire team was dead. And I think part of that might have been, op selection, part of that might have just been a poorly coordinated push. I mean, they didn't really extend past the blue side. So you can see now Sparks roaming here. Very quickly stopped by Riot, but Riot dies! Why are you doing Fragmite? What are you doing? On Oregon! On Oregon! So now Immortal is their hard support. He's the only guy with hard reach. I don't understand it. I mean, that is certainly an error there. A likely very costly error for them. And Harry just stomping Max Funtime. There goes the Jackal, gonna free up the roam possibly for them. Couple shots from the ACS? Pardon me. Just the shotgun there, able to stop them. So you can see now trying to get this attic wall open again. Seems to be the same push, at least so far, from this attacking team from Eclipse, but definitely not as pretty as before. Sort of taking off the rose-colored glasses for a second. They've lost their Jackal, which is just a key part of the entry game, as well as clearing out the roam, and that's been definitely a focal point, really, of this CK defense, is their roam game, which they seem to have been trying to use to get frags and waste time, although admittedly this round they have basically every player on site. And they lost their primary hard breach, which admittedly doesn't seem to have phased them, as Newbie takes a bit of damage. I think he's trying to really push away UE there at the top of white. But, you know, losing Riot definitely, you know, they've lost their top frag in that process, as Kalale will try and, I think, maybe replicate, try and get some intel here off of the hologram. Trying to take down UE, he's just holding this angle, does down him, finishes him off, so that Yana down. Losing some intel, possibly looking for a second one, now gonna swing Newbie, takes him out, double kill for the Oryx. It's up to just Immortal here. 3K! Just a quick 3-piece now for the Oryx, able to get another round. Actually, the first round, mind you, for CK putting themselves on the board. So, second round. My apologies, I'm getting a bit confused here. Regardless, able to tie it back up. Important for them. I think the fact that they put Eclipse early into a two-man deficit really helped them throughout the rest of the round, because it seemed to throw what little remained of the Eclipse attack seemed to have been thrown off kilter. So, you know, I think that really harmed them, you know, losing sort of a double blow, really, in that they lost both their primary hard breach in Riot, as well as their top frag. So I think that there needs to be some sort of adjustment there, probably to have somebody such as Immortal, who seems to be a more support-focused player, probably to have him playing that Thermite, playing that hard support, so maybe a Hibana or somebody that's going to be dedicated really to getting walls and hatches open, and then, you know, instead have Riot on the Ashe or the Zoph, somebody where you can expect more of a contribution through fragging, because that seems to be what they really need here, is that instead of having your Thermite go out and play entry frag and immediately die. So, first time that we're seeing meeting in kitchen here. And CK looking for a side sweep in the process of doing so. Sparks takes down Kulale, and that's going to be a pretty good pick. They take down the... My apologies. The flank watch there. O'Harry taken down by Max Funtime, so that Cade's going to be out of the round. The Nomad... death of the flank watch is certainly going to harm them here, as, you know, we seem to have a really aggressive, or a more aggressive hold from CK, you know, having Nimbus below, UE sort of roaming around as that Oryx, especially with these open hatches that we've seen them set up, or at least the singular open hatch, is definitely going to allow them a bit more of a roaming presence, or a more dynamic presence. Frag being prepped there, thrown out by Max, is going to lose a lot of health for that, doesn't get anything in return. So, truly all risk, no reward for him. And now, I'm not sure what Eclipse is really looking for at the moment. They seem a bit aimless. They will get that kitchen wall open, so they might be looking for this kitchen push. Yeah, that seems to be their next plan, is to get this sec wall open. But admittedly, they do need to do something, maybe at least a smoke, to cover off these walls to these doorways and sight lines towards Kitchen Hall and towards Meeting. Riot will take down Shady. Now Spark's going to try and get one. Falling back, it seems, to Meeting and actually give a good amount of leeway now to this tagging team. Neb's looking for the flank. No, I don't know if they realize it. Spots one, takes down Riot, looking for a second, possibly holding the angle now. And by now, I would assume Eclipse is aware, but they've lost that man advantage. Definitely a shock to the system, really. I think UE might be looking to get a pick from above here as he's still holding that kid's bedroom side. Immortal will look for a plant now. Bit of suppressive fire from Nebs, it appears, trying to pick off one. Immortal stopped, though. That'll be, I think, UE going for it. Does take him out. Sparks will pick off Newbie, so it's really up to just max fun time here. That'll be one of the Thorn charges going out. Now, Rez goes down. UE back up here as Nebs picks him off, and UE trades him. So, unfortunately, the numbers game really catching up there towards the end for Eclipse, and CK actually able to get a side sweep. I'm sure that's a pretty big morale boost for themselves, and puts them in great position here. Admittedly, this is a pretty defender-sided map, traditionally, so they should be expecting at least a 3-3. What would be average to above average is a 4-2 split in their favor, but, you know, going into this next round, they're guaranteed at least an even split at half. You know, they could be escaping this first half where they seemed really shaky at first. You know, they could be escaping this first half with a 2-round lead. And for Eclipse, I have to wonder what's happening. Hi, IMP. Alright. So, final round of this first half, and I think the keys to victory here for Eclipse are swap Riot to Ash. You know, put him on somebody with a bit more firepower. Have him be more focused on fragging rather than the support, and then flank watch. You know, although the last time then Sparks and the rest of CK held this site, it was a rather more turtle hold. You know, they more focused on just keeping control of the site and those areas adjacent. Traditionally, CK has been rather roam focused, and you know, through UE and Nebs, they've been able to really put a strain on this attacking team. Newbie picks off UE though, able to take down that top frag, and that's gonna be a big help to them, lowering the pressure. Now double kill. Noob just holds the angle and able to get rid of the home game in 45 seconds. Didn't even take actually took a good amount of health, and Shady will trade him out. Big mistake there from Newbie to not even drone that, just face checked and ended up paying the price, as now they have no hard reach. Again, the Thermite decides to go in and entry frag. Sure, you got 2 picks. You did clear out the roam. Sparks takes down Kalale, so now it's back to even. End up sort of avenging that loss in the entire roam game without making any impact whatsoever. Mask's Funtime takes down 1. But in exchange, you lost your Thermite. And on this map, frag goes out. Sparks, O'Hara take down some. Max Funtime actually able to trade one out. It's up to just Immortal and Sparks here. That smoke trying to get this done. Actually going to sprint over to the mirror window, able to make it there in time. I'm a bit surprised. Now Immortal going to be using the flashes, sending him out. Sparks sends out his third and final smoke grenade there. Don't know if he realizes where Immortal is. Going to now try and circle around, maybe game of cat and mouse here. Finds Immortal, M590, 1 shot, 1 kill. 4-2 split, what a recovery by CK. So checking the scoreboard at half, 5-4-7-2-1, 8-5-7-2-2, and again, same mistake made there by Eclipse. Sure, you did take down their top frag, you took down their other roamer, so you have a 2-man advantage here. You've removed their roam game in 45 seconds at really very little cost. That does not mean that you can have
Attackers need to
your
locate
thermite go out an entry frag, especially when you don't have a zero running, or a buck, or whoever else running a can opener as your backup in case your thermite dies, or in case your thermite doesn't end up getting a wall open with his utility. But again, just as in one of the earlier rounds when Riot Axe was the thermite and he tried to entry into blue and immediately found a couple bullets to the face courtesy of a Jaeger just in that little corner of that nook of blue.
bomb located by
So again, I mean, they entry as thermite, the thermite dies, and they lose their hard breach. And I think that's what really doomed them that round, is because they lost the thermite so suddenly, so they obviously lost the utility, and I think that sort of interrupted the momentum that they had and maybe disrupted their morale a bit. So I do believe that if they hadn't lost that thermite, they probably would have won that round, because it's really difficult as a defense to overcome a 3-5 deficit. So more props to CK for doing that, and for overcoming a 2-round rally, or stopping a 2-round rally at the start of the game there from Eclipse. You know, with managing to withstand that early storm. Sparks takes down one. I think he's now looking for that Cade or the Bandit batteries. They're going to be on that wall, and it's going to be interesting to see how, once Solus enters the competitive pool, how Solus plays into this. I have not played Solus yet, but from my understanding, being able to see those or no, she's a defender, my apologies. I'm sorry, folks, I'm a bit tired. Nubs takes down Immortal. Newbie will trade him out there, but you know, an IQ would certainly be helpful here in not only providing that intel on where that utility is, how to get rid of it, but also just the fragging power through that G8. So I think that would be an interesting choice, at least for the attacking team to make. As you can see now, Newbie going to try and actually melee one of those. Sends out a C4, ends up getting shot because he doesn't decide on whether or not to explode it. Thermite charge from Shady will go out onto that game wall, I would assume. And finally able to get through that electric on the wall. Sparks gets a double kill. Max Funtime trades him out, though. The Cade able to get another pick now, as it appears to just be these last two players trying to hold a line here, trying to make something happen. About a minute left. They are at a man disadvantage. Riot down and out, courtesy of UE, is now going to try and push his way onto the objective. This Finka running in, flashing himself as he runs almost right into the sightline of Max Funtime, who will just be swung by Shady. It'll be another round here for CK, going up 5-2. And you have to wonder, are they able to be stopped at this point? Will Eclipse be able to stop the momentum? Because so far, Eclipse has not done that. They have not proven themselves capable of doing so. Both teams, yeah. I don't know. I don't know Xbox teams all that well. So maybe not. I would hope not.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Okay. So this is not looking good here for this defending team. I mean, they're going to be going down now to basement, going to try and make something happen, but not looking too hot right now. They have to really pick up the pace, and very soon. Otherwise they'll be out of the game. But
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
you know, to talk quickly about, I think, what went wrong that last round, you know, they just lost the man advantage and never gained it back. They kept on getting pressure from basically everywhere. Obviously to varying degrees. You know, having an Osis shield on this window is not the same as having a hole in your wall blown open. But Just think that they ended up losing that man advantage, and were really unable to cope with not having that. So you can see now trying to maybe get rid of this roam here. Immortal will fall. They're trying to swing him, traded out by Cool and then by UE. So we're maintaining that man advantage. The Wamai and the Jaeger gone. That sort of dynamic duo of throwable denial. And more notably, you know, Sparks, congrats on hitting double digits. He did end up getting himself traded out, helped clear out that roam with the assistance of UE. But Wamai's dead. You know, Wamai, one of those operators that you generally want to keep alive because of the fact that his utility, which is, you know, very important, it does help deny beyond more than just throwables. It helps deny a bunch of things that the Jaeger would not deny, cannot deny. I think is a more accurate statement. More fun time trying to get another one. Quickly headshot by Shady, who's now going to continue to press forward onto the objective, looking for a second one possibly there. The Hibana now going to try pressuring the side of actually a Kamanita, I believe, there. Courtesy of UE is now going to push forward now. Sends out a search in the middle of a smoke storm. Smoke canister, my apologies. Newbie falls, though, the smoke unable to make any comment on what I just said. Riot going to try and clutch this round up. 1v3, Flash goes out, turns his head, trying to find somebody, and they're just embarrassing him at this point. UE finishes him off. That's a bit sad. Yeah. I mean, they just rolled through him. 6-2 now. Is this best of one? Yes, it is.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Alright. So, possibly the final round here. It's looking dire here for this defending team. Congrats to UE on hitting double digits as well. And, you know, there's just not been many signs of life here from Immortal and from the rest of Eclipse. So now going back to top floor here is Eclipse, and I mean, if they want to win this, they have to not bleed their players so quickly. You know, last round they lost their roam game in 10 seconds and didn't end up really wasting any utility off of it. In fact, it ended in trade, so they ended up being down a player. In addition, losing the utility of the Wamai that he would have accumulated over time. That potential utility, I suppose. So, just not a great situation. I don't know what's going on. They don't seem to have another coverage on that. I suppose they just had two separate things. As Sparks will take down Kulale, and that seems to be the beginning of the end, possibly, as the IQ going to now continue to put pressure on this objective from below again, using this vertical here to just get rid of whatever you can at this point. Clearing those ADSs out is certainly going to help. Sparks able to take down with the P12 Riot Axe, and jeez, Eclipse once more on a 3v5. And as I said earlier, Sparks falls to Immortal. But as I said earlier, it's really difficult to overcome a 3v5. Putting themselves one step closer now as Max brings it back to even here. Courtesy of the Dirty Harry revolver, and as you can see, Harry trying to make something happen, trying to play that Osa shield there to hopefully get pressure off a big window. Spawns the feet there, I believe, of Newbie, who seems to be completely unaware of the fact that he's being pressured from behind. Alva picks off UE, and it's up to just Nebs and O'Hary. Outnumbered here, starting to run low on time, definitely running low on drones. Don't have a whole lot of intel besides what they currently have. And Alva's down now. Nebs takes a bit of damage. He's trying to push the site here from that trophy side. Essentially a pincer. On one end you have the big window, on the other side you have trophy. Nebs runs right into Max Funtime, picks him off, but Newbie catches O'Hary right at the window. Neb's going to try and get another kill here, hopefully, and stopped in his tracks by Newbie, who will keep the hopes alive, it seems, for CK. Still at match point, 6-3 now. So, from here, there is a path to victory for Eclipse. It is definitely a mountain to climb, though. They have to side sweep from starting at the site. So they have to go laundry, then probably meeting in kitchen. I suppose they could go dining in kitchen. I don't know why they would. And then back to top floor. They cannot lose once. And then they go to overtime. And then from there, it's anybody's guess. They could win in overtime. They could lose in overtime. But if they want if they want a chance at this point, they need to really continue doing what they're doing here. How do you feel about about all the Xbox things? Castle's a target ban, same with Twitch. That's what I had assumed with the Castle and Twitch. I had assumed that those were target bans. I wasn't 100% sure though. I mean, considering that the match chat between these two teams was rather spirited, I'm going to leave it at that. I had kind of assumed so. Alva runs. Okay. Oh, imagine blowing a 6-1. I'm pretty sure I've seen teams blow a 6-1 lead. If I remember correctly, one of my friends, I casted his team's game. Pretty sure it was for League against this, what was it, like, Reality Insanity or something? Might have just been Insanity, whatever. It was a long time ago. But they ended up being down 1-5 after the first half. And my friend's team just turned it on. Ended up winning 7-5. Team Void PS team. Yeah. This is 4 out of 5 subs for CK. Okay, thank you. That's actually really interesting. So Spark's able to take down Max Funtime. Get his team a man advantage here as he's going to continue to clear out the roam. But, yeah. Ion for next league. Oh, that's pretty cool. Go watch our matches in Gogo's old streams. Yeah. 4-on-4, though, as Nebs will fall at the hands of Newbie. Taking a bit of damage here. He's going to try and hold down this blue elbow side. Losing, interestingly enough, one of those Azami barriers there. And Azami, a bit of a more flexible version of Castle. Or a lighter version of a shield. So, just interesting to see that sort of use, and she's really, I find that she encourages creativity. You know, she is as effective and as viable as you make her. She could just patch up holes in walls, or she could actually help you set up angles and set up sidelines to work from. Rylax taken down by Shady, so it's back to a 2v2. Admittedly, that Legion being out, not great, but they did pick off that two real strong supports with the Flores and the Yana out of the round now. Okay, so this is 4 out of 5 subs for CK, and they're still doing really well. They're doing 6-3, so that's really surprising. CK got our main 4 post by the team we're playing, not playing this game. Interesting. Okay, I'm surprised. So definitely a bit of a revenge game here for CK, I would assume, and they're doing surprisingly well considering that they have 4 out of 5 subs in 3v1 though. And as I say that, the caster curse comes in. Sparks takes down 1, but Riot and I think Gulale got 1, and Sparks able to clutch it up here as a team kill leads to the match win for CK, getting a measure of revenge here on that poaching on surprising situation with that many subs in, able to just steamroll really this defending team of Eclipse, and even with that 1 round, almost a 7-round sweep there from them. I'm wondering if it's going to show me the lobby again or not. Alright, folks. Well, that concludes tonight's festivities. Kyanite League Week 5 action. CK beats Eclipse 7-3 on Oregon. Thank you for watching. I've been a Scargo player. Have a good evening.